everybody for joining me today and for pouring into yourself, because in all actuality, that's what you're doing. I just want to cleanse the space for a second. So feel free to do it with me. I'm just going to take a few deep breaths, raise the vibrations. Relax your shoulders. Okay. So we're going to get into this. I think I sent you all the flyers. The topic is releasing people and things that no longer serve your highest and greatest good, the art of letting go. Okay. And there is great importance in doing this. And I'll get to that later. But first, I want to start by saying that this is very important to do. And you can start by taking inventory of your life. Let me turn this down just a second. You can start by taking inventory. And the way you do that, it's kind of like cleaning out a closet. You go through things, you look at what you have and you say, am I using this? Is it serving a purpose? Am I ever going to use this again? Yes, I'll keep it. No, I'll toss it out. Okay. So I'll give you an example of how I do my energetic and life inventory. I ask myself a series of questions, and I start with, am I choosing what or who is not choosing me? Okay. That's a very important question to ask ourselves, because when we take inventory of who is actually placed in our lives, first of all, let me say something to you guys. And I say this in all of my sessions. Everything is energy. Everything is energy. And we're energy. And then there's everybody else comes with their own energy. And there's other things that, are energetic forces that are moving around us. And everything affects us if we're not careful in one way or another. So it's important to take this inventory, especially when it comes to you manifesting certain things in your life. And let me say something about manifestations, because some people only associate it with trying to bring about the positive things in your life or where you want your life to go. But you have to understand that we are powerful beings, and we are constantly manifesting, whether we know it or not, whether it's deliberate or accidental. We're always manifesting. Give me a second. Somebody else is joining the room. Whoever that is, could you please mute your mic? Thank you. Thank you. So I was saying, we're always manifesting. It's not just when we say we want good things in our lives, so we want to focus and manifest that. We're always manifesting. So it's important to take inventory. It's important to be mindful of the energy field that you're holding on for yourself, onto for yourself, because if you're manifesting and we're always manifesting, like I said, if you're doing it from a lower vibration, then you're not going to manifest the highest and greatest and the best things for your life. And you're just going to feel like your life sucks, or it's just not filling or what you wanted it to be. So back to what I was saying. It's very important for us to take inventory. It's very important for us to pay attention to what we have and what we're inviting into our lives. So we ask ourselves, am I choosing to have people in my life that are not choosing me in return? And if the answer is no, what am I doing with that? What am I doing with that information? Am I going to keep them up close and personal? Because these are usually the people who don't have your highest and your greatest good in mind. Excuse me. So you have to be careful about having those people close to you, because they're capable of sending you negative energy, even if it's not deliberate or intentional. And these things can throw off what you are trying to manifest into your life. So it's very important to understand that the company you keep can affect how your life goes. Okay. The other question is, are you choosing what wants to improve you, or are you choosing what wants to destroy you? So again, that goes back to when we're talking in terms of people, we're talking about people who don't have your best interests at heart and those who do. Okay. So that question was, and you guys can take notes if you want to. And if anybody wants the recording of this afterwards, just shoot me a text or an email and I'll send it. So that second question was, are you choosing? I'm sorry, can you mute your phone? Hi, Jamie.
Hey, love.
Mute your phone for me. Um, so you have to ask yourself, are you choosing what wants to improve you? And that could mean anything from a person to your job, to your to substances, anything. And I'm somebody who, anybody who knows me, they knows I got a wine rack sitting behind me. It always stayed full. I always had a glass. You couldn't see me in the evening without me having a glass of wine in my hand. And I decided that it wasn't what was best for me. I don't have any substance abuses, but for what I wanted, what I had elevated to envision for my life, it just didn't fit. So I haven't drank. It was just a choice. I stopped. I didn't do it again, and here we are. Okay. So you have to ask yourself, is the choices that you're making, are they adding value to your life, or are they taking away value? Okay. And if you find out that they are taking away the value, then that's one of the things that you need to dispose of in your life. Okay. Are you choosing Are you choosing what or who gives you reciprocity? Okay, because balance is very important. Balance is something that we don't think about, but life should be an equal give and take. I'm talking about energetically, all around the board. You should not be over pouring. You know how they say you can't pour from an empty cup, and that's very, very true. Give me 1 second. Somebody's entering. I just want to make sure they mute their phone when they come in so that they don't disrupt my thoughts. Hi, G, mute your phone for me. Thank you. Reciprocity is very important. And if you've been in a relationship with somebody and you're giving and you're giving and you're giving and they're taking and they're taking and taking, that takes its toll. Eventually you get to a space where you're just like, this doesn't work for me. Gee, you can turn your camera off since you're not in like a private place, so that it's not distracting. Thank you. Even though I love your beautiful face. Okay, so the next question is, are you accentuating potential, or are you being realistic about what is actually being presented to you? This is so, so, so important, especially for my people in this group who are, what's the word I'm looking for? Empathic, intuitive, because we tend to have the capability to be able to read energy past what people are exhibiting in the 3D. Okay, so we can look at a person and we can actually look at their whole 5D energy and think, you know what, this is, I'm seeing such a beautiful person, but in reality, we're seeing their potential. We're seeing what they could choose to be. But what matters is, what are they actually choosing to be? What are they presenting as? We have to take that into accountability, because that leaves us in situations where we are holding on to people, or we are engaging with people who are not choosing to operate at their full capacity, and we're kind of giving them the credit without them doing it, and we become in situations that are unbalanced. We become we become linked to situations that are not giving us reciprocity. It's no equal give and take. It's never going to work. It's never going to work. You're always going to be off balance. They're always going to be taking, and you're always going to be given more than what you're being replenished. You know what I mean? So that is very, very, very important to take inventory of. We need to recognize when something is teaching us a lesson as opposed to being a blessing. I know all of you can identify with this. We're all adults, okay? From family relationships to intimate relationships to friendships, we can get into the habit of feeling like something is just the way it is, okay? And we might not like it, but we might just come to the conclusion that this is just the way it is. This is the way we've always been. Well, you know what? Evolution is a must. And if it's something that doesn't work, if it's something that is unhealthy, then we need to do something about it. We need to look at it and say, this doesn't work for me. We can address it. We can try to correct it. But if that doesn't provide us with any kind of resolution, then we may have to decide to chalk it, you know. But we have to recognize whether things are in our lives harmoniously and flowing with the natural course of where we're going and who we are, and how we maintain our peace, or if it's constantly creating some kind of friction, or some kind of negative karmic lesson. And if I want, I'll clarify a relationship where somebody is constantly being unfaithful. People make mistakes. Yes, this is true. People fall into temptation. Yes, this is true. You know what I mean? And some people recover from it because they can actually look at the soul of a person and say, this is really not in their nature. I don't know what happened. I don't know what went wrong, but I'm going to choose to forgive them. Hi, I'm Frankie. Can you mute for me? But you have to recognize when it's becoming a pattern, because at the point that it's becoming a pattern, and this person is making a choice to repeatedly hurt you. And these are people who you have to make the choice of what to do with that information. Am I going to allow this to continue, or am I going to remove them, or I'm going to put a little more distance? You know what I mean? So we have to be honest with ourselves when we find ourselves in these situations, and we have to really assess what happened, and we have to assess the person, and we have to make those tough decisions. And sometimes they don't make the cut. Sometimes you have to say, I choose me. I choose me. And I'm telling you, if you're in a situation with somebody who is repeatedly abusing the relationship, then, my advice, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just simply advising. My advice is to cut your ties and protect your energy at all costs. Okay? Especially if you're somebody like me who has worked very hard to get to where I am, and who is, knows I'm consistently working to elevate higher and higher. I don't want disruptive energy mixing with mine. Hi, Jason. Can you mute your phone for me?
I'm supposed to mute.
It's in the menu. Hold on. Let me see if I can help you out here. Let me see if I can mute everybody. Give me 1 second.
Oh, no, I see it.
You got it? Okay. So yeah. So these are some of the things that you can, these are some of the questions or some of the things that you can review in your life when you decide that you're going to take inventory and lighten, clear out your energetic space. Okay. Another question that you want to ask yourself is, do you feel free? Do you feel free in your life? And it sounds like a simple question, but when you think about it, think about your work, think about your relationships, think about your financial responsibilities and how they measure up to where your financial stability. Do you feel free? Ask yourself reasons why you do and why you don't. Yeah, I feel free in this area, but I feel binded in this area. And then you have to do the work to free yourself, because these are things that weigh us down energetically, and they affect us having a life to where we can, say, I lived a life where, it was the greatest and highest outcome possible. You know what I mean? So here is what leads me to one of the toughest things that we have to do, especially when it comes in terms of love. And I'm not just talking about intimate relationships. I'm talking about family. I'm talking about intimate. I'm talking about friends. We have to get to a point where we are not afraid to call a spade a spade. You got to call people out on their BS. And I'm not saying be, coarse about it. I'm not saying be rough about it. I'm saying you can do it in love, but you got to do it firmly. You know what I mean? You have to tell people, listen, I recognize this. I recognize that this is, you know, this is what goes on in our connection and in our relationship. It's antagonistic. It's belittling, whatever it is. We have to start addressing things, calling a spade, calling people out, for the things that they do, and seeing if there's some kind of resolution that you guys can reach. And again, I'm going to circle back. If it's not, then you got to decide what to do with that, because this is your life. This is your life. You are the co-creator. You literally have the pen. We can write it the way that we want to write it. You know what I mean? We have that power. We just so freely and so commonly give that power away because we're not used to accepting the fact that we're in control of that. We're in control of what we allow to pass in and out of our lives. And if it doesn't come in and be harmoniously, we can say, we can send it away. We can send it away. You don't belong here. I don't want you in my space. You got to go. Take it with you. Okay. So I'm just going to speak freely about something. Before I do, does anybody have any questions? Anybody? Or anything that they want to say? Okay. All right. So I just want to speak. I don't know what everybody's spiritual or religious preference is, but you'll hear me say the universe. You'll hear me say source. You'll hear me say the Most High. Excuse me. I'm talking about, who we identify or what we identify as God energy. Okay. So it's my humblest opinion, and I don't, I feel like source energy is brilliant. If you look at nature, if you just sit in nature and watch, and you see how many things have everything that they need, they know what to do, and nobody is telling them what to do. They know, just look at animals, watch them. They know how to hunt, they know how to hide, they know how to protect themselves when they know that they're in the territory where they're prey, and they know how to become the predator. They know all of these things without being told. So that's like source energy at work. Look at a tree. When seeds are planted, nature knows how to water the soil and let the seed take root and let the tree grow and all of these things. And here we are as humans. Here we are as humans, intelligent beings, and we go through life in a backwards learning process. And you may not believe it, a little baby a newborn baby, when they are pushed out, they have everything that they need. They know they can figure out how to suckle on the mother's breast so that they can eat. They can figure out how to make a sound, make a fuss when they want their needs met, you know. And then we, the brilliant adults, as the baby starts growing, we start putting all the wrong things in their heads, and here we are trying to unlearn the things that we were taught. And none of us had a manual. Sorry, Shay. I did my best, and but we have to learn, and when we learn better, we do better. But source energy is brilliant. We come here and we have a set of gifts that are aligned with the mission and the purpose that we are here to fulfill, but we forget. We are untaught. We are literally untaught to how to connect with our intuition, how to keep our chakras aligned, how to view ourselves as the energy inside of this body instead of the actual physical body. Because all of those things that we are untaught are the actual things that keep us connected to source creation. And source creation is brilliant. It's brilliant. It's everything. It's everything all figured out and handed to us, and we just undo it. You know what I mean? And spend a long time trying to figure out how to connect back to something that is internal. We go to church, we do things, and I'm not knocking any of those things, because we have to do the best that we can to it's human nature to latch on to a life source to survive. But we've forgotten that those things are all within us, and all we have to do is quiet our minds and go within, and start putting down the things that aren't serving us. Continue to take inventory. It's a process. It's a practice. We have to constantly be looking at our lives and taking inventory and saying, I don't need this. This is not serving me well. I am getting drunk every Friday and every Saturday. And from Sunday to Wednesday, I feel like hell. I'm speaking about my own experience. I ain't talking about y'all, but I'm talking about when I was, younger. I used to be like, I'm getting lit Friday and Saturday. Don't remember what happened. Sunday to Wednesday, I'm in hell. I'm in hell, So I got a little older and I calmed down. I'm like, oh, this red wine, this is it, But I got to a space where it did not. I'm like, my I don't know what's going on with me. I'm not that old. My bones are aching. I don't know, I didn't get done as much as I wanted to get done yesterday. I started sipping on my wine, and then I started sipping on a little more wine. So for me, this is not everybody's choice. This is my own personal inventory. For me, it was too much for me to indulge in wine, just wine, because there was things that I had planned to do, and every day it got put on tomorrow's schedule. And when I did my self inventory, I said, this is why. This is why. You get halfway through the day and you say, screw it. You just need to unwind. And then you drink a glass of wine, and that glass of wine tells you need another glass of wine. And that was just what I was doing. And then I would look back and say, damn, I was supposed to do this 3 weeks ago. I promised myself. I was letting my own self down. When you get to the point where you take inventory and you say, I'm screwing my own self over. It's bad enough when you start disappointing other people, But when you take inventory and you look at yourself and you say, I'm sabotaging myself, then you got to start putting some things down. You got to really be honest with yourself. You can lie to the world. You can lie to everybody else. But when it's just you and your reflection, when it's just you and your thoughts in your mind, can't lie to yourself. Well, some people can. We're not going to talk about that, but a normal person should not be able to lie to themselves. You should be able to say, you know what? I got to do better by me, for me. Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about um, us taking enough inventory to the point where we figure out what our purpose is and why we are here. Because like I said, that includes um, um, that includes undoing and reteaching yourself or reconnecting with source energy so that you can really feel within what is right for you and what is sabotaging you. Okay. So when you do this, this creates a series of experiences that will trigger the unlocking of these memories, this remembrance of why I'm here, and things will start when you start trusting your intuition more. When you start this whole thing is a cycle, and like I said, you have to practice it. The taking inventory, putting things out that don't serve you, and picking things up that elevate you. This is a whole process, but this whole process it triggers your memories, and it starts feeding your energy, and it will raise your vibrations. And the higher that you raise your vibrations, you'll start remembering more things, to start feeling, you'll start being able to get better at feeling like this is not for me, this is for me, this is necessary for why I'm here, this is not, I don't want it in my energy. Okay. But here's what will happen if we get what I call stuck in low vibrational energy. You'll notice that you start looping. You start saying things like, ain't no good men out here. Ain't no good women out here. That's not true. That's not true. You are just a vibrational match for the ones that aren't good. You have yourself, and I'm choosing my words specifically. You have yourself in a vibrational loop that is trying. This is nature. This is source energy trying to show you, trying to teach you this lesson. And it keeps happening to you. You're like, dang, I thought this was the one and this ain't the one. It's because you're not taking the time out in between to say, what am I doing wrong? What am I, because I keep going at this the same way and I keep getting the same results. So something should stop you, and you should be able to say, okay, apparently I'm attracting and choosing the wrong people. There's something that I need to do to change that. And the answer to that is you need to go higher. If you want a better selection, you got to be a vibrational match for the better selection. You can't go into ShopRite and think that you're going to get products that they only sell in Whole Foods. You can't turn on the radio and say, I want to listen to Power 99 and leave it on 105.3. You're not going to get what you're looking for. The frequencies have to match. So all of these things, all of these energetic practices, they are important because they put you in a mindset to rise, to continue to rise. And we have to understand that we're never there. There's always another level. There's always elevation available to you if you want it. For as long as you have life in you, we never reach the destination. So we need to learn how to navigate and enjoy the journey. We need to know how to embrace the now and make the now the best now that we could, the experience, the best possible experience. And the way that we do that is constantly taking inventory. And I'm sound like a broken record. I don't care. Constantly taking inventory and saying, I have graduated past that. Now that I, reevaluate my energetic space, I realize that I don't need this anymore. I'm going to move this out and make space for this, because this is going to allow me to get to the next level. See where I'm going with this? Okay. So, what's very important about that process is that we don't allow ourselves to look at any of these situations as bad or look at ourselves like we're the victim. Do not develop a victim mentality, because that will keep you in low vibrational energy. That will keep you from elevating. Change your mind, change your outlook, and tell yourself it was a lesson. It wasn't something that was happening to me. It was something that happened for me, for my highest and greatest good. All of these things are happening to push you. Life gets uncomfortable when you're not supposed to be in that space. So when the most uncomfortable, when the most horrible things, the things that you view as horrible are happening in your life, it's trying to teach you something. It's trying to teach you, look, pay attention, so that you can learn this lesson and get out of this energy and move up to the next space. And I guarantee you, if you start looking at life that way and treating it that way, you'll start moving. You'll start moving. Things will start happening. You know? So that's very, very, very important. I stated to you guys before, everything is energy. Everything is energy. And it's a game of what we want to match with, what we want to vibrate with. What do we want our lives to look like? And here's the thing. Okay, because I know everybody has some way of asking the universe, prayer, meditation, visualizing. Okay, we have become so accustomed to the way things look and the way things are that sometimes it's our own lack mentality that keeps that prevents our manifestations, our blessings from coming in. Because what will happen is we'll ask for something, and then we'll immediately tell ourselves, but that only happens to other people. I'm not going, I'm praying about it. I'm thinking about it. I want this. And then the minute you say, but, you put up a roadblock. You did it. You blocked your own blessing, but it ain't going to happen. I know that. I mean, if it does happen, I'm going to be surprised. Yeah. Because, if this has been your mentality all of this time, then a lot of things probably haven't gone right in your life because you talked it away. You talked it away. See, we have the misconception that, God is, we dumb God down to a man. No, it's all vibrational. Source energy is the highest, most intelligent vibration that you can latch onto, that you can tap into, right? But when we say we want something and then we don't do the vibrational work and we don't do the things physically that align with that, then we are really, it's like this. You tell source energy, I want this life, right? And bam, source energy is like, okay, this is your life on level 10. This is what you asked for. But the things that you're holding on to right now, and you're in the way that you're thinking, and the energy that you're connecting with is on level 6. You asked me for something, I gave it to you right away. It's right here. It's right here on level 10. It's right here. All I need you to do is be a vibrational match, and you will be able to have it. It will be tangible. It's really, it sounds complicated, but it's not. It's not. We get in our heads and we get in our own way. And it's because we forgot how to stay connected to source energy and constantly remind ourselves that, yeah, things happen. Outside energy does happen, but we have to practice positive affirmations, and then positive energy, sustaining our positive energy fields. We have to practice staying high. So as soon as something comes in that brings us a little low, it's okay. We're human. We are. Still, part of us is human. But we have to practice saying, I'm not staying here. I'm not staying here. I got level 10 in my sights. And that's where I'm going. So I'm in the process of taking inventory and correcting my energy and elevating, constantly elevating. You have to keep yourself, and you will notice that when you get into the practice of doing that, you will start manifesting things that you want, that you intend for yourself. Because, like I said, we're constantly manifesting. It's not just about what you want. You can manifest what you don't want accidentally. So, um, learning to practice good energy, managing your energy and staying high, vibing high, and evaluating your behavior and the people that the company that you keep, and saying, this got to go rotate out so I can rotate this in, because this is going to make me higher. This is going to bring me higher. This is something that you have to stay. You have to constantly practice. You have to constantly practice, because things have the ability to, energy, the lower vibrational, the entities that are attached to that, they're clever too. And unlike light uh derived energy, those dark energies, they are parasitic. So they mean to latch on and suck the life out of you. And if they find an end, if they say, oh, I got you, you low enough for me to latch onto you, sometimes it's hard. It's hard to that's why you'll see people, you'll see somebody and say, what happened to that person? Their life was, they was doing so good. How did they end up like that? Got caught slipping. You know what I mean? They didn't protect their energy. They didn't protect it. And it's not a instantaneous thing. It's something that happens over time. It's like, you're not mindful of your vibes, and you allow certain things in, and that influences you, and that brings you down. And then now you're at a vibrational match for other things to come in and latch on and bring you down lower. And it becomes a process. It becomes a cycle that the person is not learning from and graduating from. Now it's just a downward spiral. That's where we don't want to be. Okay. So the object is to have the best life possible. And if that's what you want, then you have to be a vibrational match to that. It's just as simple as that. So you're saying, Storm, how do I rise? How does anything rise? By unloading what's holding them down. Unload what's holding you down. That's that inventory. Okay? Changing your mind, changing your perspective to change your life is very important in that. I know I'm repeating myself, but it's deliberate. Because we trick ourselves, and this is the ego. The ego is something that's in us. It means well. It wants to protect us, but its idea of protecting us is keeping us in comfort zones, keeping us in spaces that are familiar, spaces that we don't like to venture out of, because we think that it's been keeping us safe all this time, but really it's the same thing that makes us feel stuck. And you'll hear people say all the time, I just can't win for losing, I'm just stuck in a rut. First of all, you're speaking negatively against yourself, and you hear yourself. So now what you said becomes true. But the other thing that happens is your vibration becomes a match to that mentality. The reality is that you're not stuck. You're simply choosing what is not serving your highest and greatest good. You're holding on to it, and it's keeping you there. It's keeping you in that space, but you're choosing. Everything is a choice. Everything is a choice. We literally choose. We really literally can choose to be stuck. We don't realize it, but we are. And like I said, one of the main reasons is because it feels familiar, and what feels familiar feels safe. But I know you guys have heard this a million times. Everything that's extraordinary is outside of that safe zone. And I'm gonna go back to what I said earlier in this conversation. What do we do? What are we taught as babies? Safe, 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 safe. You gotta stay safe. Everything is in the safe zone. And I understand. There's certain things that we have to do to keep a child safe. But then, as parents, and I know I'm guilty of it. We can become too. We hold on too tight. We hold on too tight. And we don't even know that we are putting this fear mentality into our children. The children are fearless. I watch my grandson and I'm like, oh my God, I can't watch. I'm just not going to watch, because when I don't watch, bad stuff don't happen. The angels are watching. I don't know, something intervenes. But when I watch, I don't know. But they're fearless. They're fearless, and we literally suck that out of them. The same way it was sucked out of us. Because we didn't remember intuitively how to have a balance. How to balance out, being safe with, taking risk, taking healthy risk, taking wise chances, so everything becomes, no, just don't do it, and then so as adults, we develop a mentality where we think we're stuck. We literally think we're stuck, and it's just us in our heads holding us back. Okay. What's another reason is that we're not embracing who we are and what we truly want. We start people pleasing. We start creating facades. This is what everybody is doing. This is what everybody's wearing. This is what everybody looks like that. And then we look at when we're alone, we're not happy. That's because we're not us. We're every damn body else. We are literally choosing to take portions and pieces of everybody else's external opinion and inserting it into who we are. We don't have our own identity. That's a miserable space to live in. Miserable. When you can't be unapologetically you because you're worried about being accepted from a group of people who don't know who they are, most likely, who don't have their stuff together, most likely. Because these are usually the people with the most opinions. These are usually the people who want control or say so over somebody else. People who feel like they don't have control or too much say over their own. Research it. You'll find that I'm right. So, letting these things influence us could leave us in a space where we feel trapped. I feel stuck. I feel trapped. But you're not. You're simply not choosing to stand in your power. You're simply not choosing to be who you truly are unapologetically. The minute that you do and you say, I don't care what people think, this is who I am, and I'm going to be that. And if you got a problem with it, it's your problem. It's not mine. But when we do that, when we start people pleasing, we self-sabotage, and we end up in our head, and again, we feel stuck. Here's another reason. We don't see our full potential, or we don't feel like we're deserving of better. It's that lack mentality. You simply don't believe or can't imagine that an extraordinary life is for you. You start saying things like what I said before. Yeah, that would be great, but that only happens to other people. Well, now you said it. Now it's true. Now it's true. Now you'll never know what it means to have an extraordinary life, because what you are manifesting is just a regular smuggler, stuck where you are, pleasing everybody life. You chose it for yourself. You chose it for yourself. Didn't come outside of that. You have things inside of you, whether you want to believe it or not, to create the kind of life that you see and you say, oh my gosh, look at this. This is so beautiful. This is so beautiful. And I'm not talking about materialistic things. I'm talking about the wonderful things that people are doing, traveling across the world and building schools and saving villages. We all have the capability to have whatever kind of life that we can imagine. If we can imagine it, we can have it. As soon as we ask for it, there it is. There it is. We just got to work to get to that. We have to work our energy to be a vibrational match. And that comes with unscrewing ourselves, creating a positive energy field, creating a positive mindset, believing that we're worthy of it, believing that this is our life. When you say your affirmations, it can't stop there. But first of all, when you say your affirmations, you have to speak your affirmations as if they are here already. I am healthy. I am wealthy. I am blessed. I am a blessing to others. Because on some energetic level, it is true. You are there. The minute that you start speaking it like it's something that you're looking forward to, you're telling yourself you don't have it, and you're creating a blockage. So it's another thing of working into your cycle of managing your energy, of changing your mind, changing your point of view, and that's going to change your life. Okay? So, I got to check my notes, guys. I'm sorry. I get to talking. Oh, so another thing that we do is that we tend to normalize things. Life has taught us that this is just normal. This is just the way it is. This is the way everybody is. And this is just the way it's going to be. So we accept it. We should never, ever, ever accept that, this is the way things are. If you're not happy with your life, guess who's in charge of doing something about that? Yep, you. So, the art of letting go. The art of letting go. People, things, practices, ideas, traditions, all of these things that are in the way of us living our up to our highest and fullest potentials, living our best lives, include us letting go, releasing things that don't serve us. So what does that look like? It looks like distancing yourself or totally cutting out people or things and behaviors that no longer serve you. It looks like you allowing yourself to acknowledge the hurt and discomfort that is associated with releasing these people or things. Take the time that you need to feel and process your emotions, because a lot of us and men go through this. A lot of us are taught that you're not supposed to feel, you're not supposed to. I know that I was a person to say, I don't cry. Now, I love a good cry. I love the way I feel afterwards. It's so cleansing. I ain't no punk bee. I don't care what y'all thinking. But I'm a whole crybaby now, and I'm glad to say that now. Most of the time, it's tears of joy, But a good cry, it's cleansing. But you can take the time to feel and process these emotions, but don't stay there. Don't get stuck in that. Don't view yourself as a victim. Tell source energy, thank you. Thank you. I got it. I learned the lesson. I now see what you were trying to teach me. And I'm going to process this. I'm going to process these feelings. And then I'm going to transmute it. And I'm going to go into beast mode. I'm going to use it for my good. I'm going to use it as fuel to accelerate me to the next thing, to the next level, and get the heck out of this space. Okay? And then you get into a mode where you start gathering what feels like the broken pieces of you. And you tell yourself that you're determined to put yourself back together. And this is where your healing process starts. And that is very important. It's important that we heal. It's important that we heal, because damaged people damage people, starting with yourself. Hurt people hurt other people, starting with yourself. Here in your healing phase, this is where you can go within. You can start embracing the things that you love about yourself, the things that you love to do. And you had to make a mental note of what this energy feels like, because that is the, when you are working your cycles, that is the feeling that you want to feel. That's the space that you want to stay in all the time. When you feel yourself drop below that, you got to say, I got to turn on some music. I got to, whatever your thing is. I need to read a book. I need to listen to my favorite motivational speaker, Storm. You know, whatever it is. Develop some healthy habits instead of picking up bad vices that bring you lower, so that you can start working your energy in an upward and a positive direction. Okay? Because this is the space where you're going to allow yourself to go through the fire and rise from the ashes like the phoenix that you are. And that is the end of my presentation for you guys. I'm so happy that you joined me. Is there anybody who wants to share anything? No? Okay, so like I said before, in the beginning of my presentation, if there's anybody, thank you, Aunt Frankie. If there is anybody who wants a recording of this, you're welcome, Elle. I'm glad. If there's anybody who wants a copy of this recording, just send me a text message or an email, and I will make sure you get it, I promise. Okay? I'm sending love and light to everybody, and I want to end the same way that I began. I'm going to cleanse the space. Everybody, anybody who wants to join me in taking a few breaths, feel free. Thank y'all so much. Namaste. I'll see y'all in the next one.